This is the Hyundai IONIQ 5 and in 2022 was voted World Car of the Year. Then fast forward a year later, the IONIQ 6 was also awarded the same title. So how have Hyundai done back-to-back World Car of the Year with two IONIQs? Let's find out. Yes, this is the Hyundai IONIQ 5 and it's one of them cars that could be described as a little bit Marmite, because you might look at this and go, wow, this is a piece of engineering brilliance, or you're going to look at it and going, what the heck were they thinking? So whether you like the look of this car or not, it was deemed the best car of 2022, not just for the design but the whole infrastructure of this vehicle. It's an EV with a top range of 315 miles, top of the range tech, an interior that looks out of this world. The one standout feature for me about the design of the IONIQ 5 is them LED headlights. The way they're squared and it comes into this almost front grille, the contrasting black strip across the front of this car. Looks very futuristic and is very unique. And also is a whole running theme about this car. It looks a bit like a spaceship, and the fact that the pixelated design is seen throughout the car, at the front, at the back, at the side on the wing mirrors, and even down to small features on the wireless charging pad and also on the EV charging port. It's been crafted brilliantly, and little attention to detail like that goes a long way. And the IONIQ 5 does in fact actually go a long way, because this EV comes with a top mile range of 350 miles. And that is obviously if you opt with the top battery size of the 77 kilowatt hour. And that produces 228 brake horsepower and 0 to 6 time, rather respectable 7.3 seconds. We can actually get a quick one of these, not that IONIQ 5 then, which is soon to be coming out, because that's a bit of a beast. No, you can actually get an all-wheel drive version of this car, which actually produces a 0 to 60 time of 5.1 seconds. Yes, it drops slightly in range, drops to 298, but 7 miles for a whole 2 seconds faster. I think you can make that deal. And to be honest, despite its size, it does really feel like a quick car. That top 0 to 6 time of 5.1 seconds, if you use the bigger battery, the 77 kilowatt hour on the all-wheel drive mode, then it is very responsive. I mean, all you need to do is just lightly tap the accelerator and you seem to go back. It's quite a fun car. It looks very much like, I know the design is quite Marmite, like I said before in the video, but despite it looking a bit like a family car, it does actually provide a lot of fun. And the fact you do have multiple driving modes, and also with that regenerative braking, means that if you put it on the lowest setting and on sport mode, then it's even more fun than intended to, really. But yes, this is quite, you could say, a powerful SUV. 5.1 seconds, that's a very good 0 to 60 time. But it also handles brilliantly. I just think with the size of the steering wheel, the way this car is engineered, the way it just handles around corners, it just seems to glide and everything just feels premium. Even just things like the indicators, they're all soft touch. That leather wrapped steering wheel, which is sort of like got almost a suede leather effect, if you sort of get what I mean. Also with just the sheer size of the infotainment screen and digital driver display. So you have that joint 12.3 inch screens. Infotainment screen obviously comes with built-in navigation, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and also the top specs comes with that 360 parking cameras. But for me, one of the main selling points of the IONIQ 5 is the interior. The fact you have them huge infotainment screens, but mainly just the amount of space that you feel in drive position and also what you'd feel if you were a passenger. Because it has that completely flat floor, and you don't necessarily have a center console, you just have a bit of storage and 2 cup holders, and then you have the storage which is deep down low on the floor. It seems like you just get so much room, it feels so much area, and I think for a long road trip, it is the ideal car. Its comfort has all them driver safety features like adaptive cruise control, which also comes with stop and go. So as annoying as a traffic jam on a motorway would be, being in an EV, which actually maximises your electric range, and an EV with this amount of space, it's an absolute doddle. Everything's just ease. That's what the IONIQ 5 is, and there's no wonder they got World Car of the Year. Coming to the back of the IONIQ 5, and yes, although it still has that very much uniform design with the pixelated rear lights, and also this bar very much mirrors the one you see at the front, it seems a lot more streamlined. The front seems a little bit clunky, some might say, and I think that's one of the main reasons why people might not like this car. Whereas the back, it looks quite sporty. You have this really accentuated spoiler, which actually has 2 little slots down here, so it has that dual spoiler effect. One thing I'm not the biggest fan of, this fact you don't actually have a rear windscreen wiper. So that's a bit of a tongue twister for me to say, but managed to get there in the end. What I'm a fan of is the fact you don't have a rear windscreen wiper. Why can't I speak? Because the fact, it's a little bit dirty. I want to be able to wash it on my drive, I don't want to have to pull up and wipe it. So it's one of the ones that's a little bit of a faff. Coming to the boot space, and this one of the impressive things about the IONIQ 5. Yes, it is an SUV, pretty much mid to high size SUV, but it comes with up to 527 litres of boot capacity. Now if you fold them 3 rear seats down, it also comes with 1,500 litres. So for a long road trip, this is perfect. Coming to the interior, and to be honest, I think this is one of the standout features of the IONIQ 5. Just going to pop my phone down here on the wireless charging pad, which is a nice touch. And you also have 2 USB sockets. Now they connect to the 12.3-inch infotainment screen, which obviously comes with your built-in navigation, your Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and also some of your climate controls, although you can have the shortcut buttons down here, which just makes it a lot more easier. So you can sit back, bing, boom, boom, you've got a nice warm bum. You also have that nice added feature that seen across all Hyundais. So if you are parked up and you just want to chillax, you can select calm ocean waves, and while you're waiting for your car to charge, you can use the electronic seats and have a nice relaxing kip. You have them leather wrapped seats, which comes with the top spec, the ultimate design. Has that pixelated design, the nice hugging seats, and they're pretty much what you see in IONIQ 6, so there's no wonder that also won World Car of the Year. You also get nice added features with the top specs with the Bose sound system and them LED lights. So overall it feels premium, it has all the tech that you need and a lot of storage for a long road trip. Overall, it's a great car. Comes to the back and it is the same old story. You have the same style seats, you also have 2 USB ports and the climate controls on the side, so you get a nice projection of airflow. It's not going to be weirdly projected up here and it might end up going to the middle passenger's crotch, which you see in a lot of cars. You get it straight in your face, which is kind of what you want. That sounded really rude. You also get that rear privacy glass and also the rear heated seats. So for a rear passenger, the fact you get so much legroom, so much headroom, you get them comforts like the rear heated seats, chargers, lots of storage. It's a really good place to be, and you also get a leather wrapped armrest with 2 cup holders in. So overall, the only thing I will say it might be missing is a panoramic sunroof. Here's some small features about the IONIQ 5 that I'm a massive fan of. First is to do with the rear seats. There's so much space, and for a long drive, because that rear privacy glass is quite dark in the back, so it means it's quite cozy. And also the fact you have them purple LED lights on the top spec just makes this a really nice place to be. The second thing is how you open and close the charging port, because I'm actually an EV owner, but I don't have an EV port like this. I have to faff about, and if it's been wet and there's all mud, you get really mucky hands. Whereas this, hold your key, and it flies open. And it also, such soft open and closing. It's really satisfying. And the third thing is something which is a bit nerdy and a bit more about car tech, is these little gaps down here. Probably thinking, what are they? Are these just a bit of design feature? No, when you're out on the roads, these open and close and basically fluctuate the airflow into that battery, which not only increases performance, but also EV efficiency. Here's some small features about the IONIQ 5 that I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of. So the first thing is this little cubby hole down here. Yes, it just maximises storage, but if you put your phone down here, for example, or maybe a drink or some snacks, if you're driving, you've got to do this. It's not exactly the safest, and especially when you're a short bloke like me who has to have the seat all the way up to see over the bonnet, it means that this is much further away. So that's going to be very unhandy. The second thing is actually infotainment screen. Yes, it has all that you need, and I think that's quite a nice display, but there's something about this design with this colour scheme that I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of. I feel like it don't feel very IONIQ 5. It'd be nice if it looks a bit cosmic, has a nice backdrop. In fact, it's just plain backdrop with them icons. I feel like it could be much better. So then, there you have it, the Hyundai IONIQ 5 voted World Car of the Year in 2022. If you want to inquire about this car or book a test drive, then contact one of our 7 Holcroft Hyundai sites.